If you want to know whether someone will live a long, healthy life, forget their cholesterol numbers. Forget what they weigh. What matters is something most doctors never talk about. Your body has 5 invisible defense systems right now, and most people over 60 have accidentally shut them down without knowing it. Hi, I'm Dr. Becker. I'm an emergency medicine physician. And after nearly 3 decades in practice, I've seen what happens when these systems fail. People lose their independence, their quality of life deteriorates, and diseases that could have been prevented take over. But here's what excites me. The latest research shows these defense systems can be reactivated at any age using specific foods in exact amounts. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 food hacks that activate your body's natural healing mechanisms. We'll explore how certain foods can literally double your stem cells, starve microscopic cancers before they grow, and activate a special type of fat that burns the bad fat in your body. Most importantly, I'll give you the exact foods and amounts that clinical studies have proven work in people your age. Quick favor, I see messages from people who've watched several of my videos and didn't realize they weren't subscribed. Could you double check right now? It's free, takes 2 seconds, and helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Now, here's the thing. Your body was designed with 5 defense systems that most people have never heard about. The first is called angiogenesis. Let me explain what that means in plain language. Every organ in your body needs blood vessels to survive. Your heart, your brain, your kidneys. They all depend on a network of tiny blood vessels, bringing oxygen and nutrients to every cell. But here's what most people don't know. Your body is constantly building new blood vessels and pruning old ones. This process is called angiogenesis. When it works correctly, it's like a perfectly maintained garden. New growth where you need it, removal of what you don't. The problem is microscopic cancers that we all develop as we age. They hijack this system. These tiny clusters of abnormal cells can grow beyond the size of a pencil tip without blood vessels. So, they send out signals trying to trick your body into feeding them. If your angiogenesis defense is strong, your body ignores those signals. The cancer stays microscopic and harmless. If the defense is weak, blood vessels grow toward the cancer, and that's when it becomes dangerous. Researchers at Harvard Medical School studied this for over 20 years. They found that at any given time, about 40% of women in their 40s have microscopic breast cancer cells. 50% of men in their 50s have microscopic prostate cancer cells. But these never become dangerous unless they get a blood supply. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a tiny seed of a weed in your garden. If that seed never gets water, it stays a seed forever. It can't hurt anything. But the moment water reaches it, boom, it sprouts and spreads. That's exactly what happens with microscopic cancers in your body. Your angiogenesis system is the gatekeeper that decides whether those seeds ever get watered. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Certain foods contain natural chemicals that strengthen this defense. They're called anti-angiogenic foods, and they work by cutting off the blood supply to those microscopic cancers while leaving your healthy tissues completely unaffected. One of the most powerful is found in something you probably already eat, tomatoes. Specifically a compound called lycopene. A study from the University of Illinois looked at men with prostate cancer who were scheduled for surgery. They gave half the men 3 tablespoons of tomato paste daily for 3 weeks before surgery. The other half got nothing special. When they removed the tumors and analyzed them, the men who ate tomato paste had significantly smaller tumors with less blood vessel growth. This wasn't a small effect. The tumors were measurably starved of blood supply. 3 tablespoons of tomato paste daily. That's the dose that worked in humans. But tomatoes are just the beginning. Berries, especially blueberries and strawberries, contain ellagic acid and other polyphenols that have the same effect. Green tea has caseins. Dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao has flavonols. These aren't theoretical compounds in a laboratory. These are foods you can buy at any grocery store, and they work through the same mechanism, starving the blood supply to abnormal cells while protecting your healthy circulation. Think about it this way. Every day your body is playing defense against thousands of cellular mistakes. Your immune system, your DNA repair mechanisms, your angiogenesis control. When these systems work, those mistakes get corrected before they become problems. But when your diet is filled with processed foods, excess sugar, and lacks these protective compounds, you're essentially sending your defense systems home early. You're leaving the gate unguarded. That's when things start going wrong. Not overnight, but gradually over years. The second defense system is your stem cells. Now, most people think stem cells are something you get injected at an expensive clinic. That's not what I'm talking about. You are born with about 70 million stem cells. They're packed away in your bone marrow, your muscle tissue throughout your body like spare parts in a warehouse. When you need to repair damaged tissue, rebuild muscle, Restore function to your organs, your body calls on these stem cells. They come out, they do the work, they regenerate what's broken. The problem is, as we age, our stem cells don't come out as readily. They're like workers who stop showing up to work. The warehouse is full, but nobody's answering the phone. This is why older adults lose muscle mass, why injuries heal slower, why organ function declines. It's not because the stem cells are gone. They're still there. They just need the right signal to activate. Here's what the research shows. Certain foods can literally double the number of stem cells circulating in your bloodstream. A study from the University of California, San Francisco, looked at 60-year-old men with heart disease. Their blood vessels were stiff, circulation was poor, typical for their age and condition. The researchers gave them 2 cups of hot chocolate made with 80% dark chocolate, high in flavanols. Not the sugar, loaded hot cocoa you buy at the store. Real dark chocolate with minimal processing. After drinking this for 30 days, they measured their stem cells. They had doubled. Not a small increase, doubled. And with those stem cells came measurable improvements in blood vessel function. The vessels became more elastic, more resilient, better at responding to the body's demands. This is regeneration happening at age 60 in people who already had disease. Think about that. You're not too old for your body to repair itself. You just need to give it the right fuel. But dark chocolate isn't the only stem cell activator. Extra virgin olive oil protects stem cells as they age and helps them function better. Studies from the Mediterranean regions show that people who consume olive oil regularly throughout their lives have better tissue regeneration, better recovery from injury, better muscle mass preservation. The dose that matters is about 2 to 3 tablespoons daily. Not drizzled on a salad as a garnish, actually consumed, used in cooking, poured over vegetables, incorporated into your meals. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish do the same thing. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies. These aren't just good for your heart. They signal your stem cells to come out and do repair work. A study in older adults found that consuming omega-3 rich fish twice weekly increased circulating stem cells by 40% over 12 weeks. Again, this is measurable regeneration happening in your body from food. The third defense system is your gut microbiome. Everyone talks about gut health now, but let me give you the real science. You have 39 trillion bacteria living in your digestive tract. That's more bacteria than you have human cells. These bacteria aren't just sitting there. They're actively controlling your metabolism, communicating with your brain, regulating your immune system. 70% of your entire immune system lives in the walls of your gut right next to these bacteria. Think of your gut like a tube, a garden hose cut in half. The bacteria live inside the tube. Your immune system lives in the wall of the tube. They talk to each other through that wall. It's like college roommates in a dorm with thin walls, pounding on the wall to communicate. What kind of pizza do you want? That's your gut bacteria talking to your immune system. When your gut bacteria are healthy, they send good messages. Make this immune cell. Release this anti-inflammatory compound. Stay calm, everything's fine. When your gut bacteria are unhealthy, dominated by the wrong species, they send bad messages. Panic, inflame, attack. This is why gut health isn't just about digestion. It's about your entire immune response, your inflammation levels, even your mood and brain function. Researchers have now linked gut bacteria to conditions like Alzheimer's, autism, schizophrenia, depression. There's a nerve called the vagus nerve that runs from your brain all the way down into your gut. It's about the thickness of a shoelace. Your gut bacteria send signals up this nerve like text messages to your brain. When your gut bacteria are healthy, those messages promote calm, focus, production of social hormones. When they're unhealthy, those messages can trigger anxiety, depression, cognitive fog. What feeds healthy gut bacteria? Fiber. But not just any fiber. Specific types called prebiotics. These are found in foods like onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, artichokes, underripe bananas. Your gut bacteria ferment this fiber and produce short-chain fatty acids that have powerful anti-inflammatory effects throughout your entire body. A study from Singapore looked at older adults who consumed 1 kiwi fruit daily. Within 24 hours, their gut bacteria composition began to shift favorably. More beneficial species, fewer harmful ones. After 4 weeks, they measured significant increases in anti-inflammatory bacteria. 1 kiwi daily. That's all it took to start reshaping the gut ecosystem. But here's something most people don't know. There's one specific bacteria called Akkermansia muciniphila that seems to be a master regulator of metabolism. People who are lean and metabolically healthy have high levels of Akkermansia. People who are obese and metabolically unhealthy have almost none. Researchers studying cancer patients on immunotherapy found that the patients who survived, whose immune systems responded to treatment, all had Akkermansia. The patients who didn't respond lacked it. When they gave Akkermansia from the survivors to laboratory animals with cancer, Those animals responded to treatment. When they wiped out the Akkermansia with antibiotics, the cancer came back and the animals died. This one bacteria species appears to control immune function, inflammation, metabolism, fat storage. It lives in the mucous layer of your gut. So how do you grow it? Pomegranate juice, cranberry juice, Concord grape juice. These contain a compound called elagitanins that don't directly feed the bacteria. Instead, they stimulate your gut to produce more mucus. More mucus means more soil for Akkermansia to grow. I had a patient once who was about to start immunotherapy for multiple myeloma. We tested her stool. She had 0 Akkermansia. Why? She had recently taken antibiotics for bronchitis. We delayed her treatment, gave her pomegranate juice daily, fed her fermented foods, rebuilt her gut health. 2 weeks later, we tested again. She had 6 times the population average of Akkermansia. She started treatment and responded completely. One of the best responses her oncologist had ever seen. This is food and medicine working together. The fourth defense system is your DNA protection and repair. Most people think of DNA as just a genetic code, something static that determines your traits. It's much more than that. Your DNA is constantly under attack from the environment. Ultraviolet light from the sun damages it. Chemicals you breathe, fumes from gasoline, off-jing from new furniture, radon from basement, all of these create breaks and errors in your DNA. If those errors aren't repaired, that's when cancer starts. But your DNA is hardwired to fix itself. Every cell has sophisticated repair machinery running all the time, scanning for damage, cutting out errors, patching breaks. When this system works well, you can be exposed to environmental toxins, and your body just fixes the damage before it becomes a problem. When the system is overwhelmed or weak, errors accumulate. At the ends of your DNA strands are protective caps called telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. They prevent the DNA from fraying. Every time your cells divide, these telomeres get a little shorter. When they get too short, the cell stops dividing. It becomes sessile, old and dysfunctional. This is cellular aging happening in real time. Stress, smoking, poor diet, all of these accelerate telomere shortening. You're burning your life fuse faster. But certain foods slow this down, and some even lengthen telomeres. Green tea is one. A study in Japan looked at over 500 older adults and measured their telomere length while tracking their green tea consumption. People who drank 5 or more cups of green tea daily had significantly longer telomeres than non-drinkers. Not just a little longer, measurably longer, equivalent to about 5 years of cellular aging difference. Coffee does the same thing. Multiple studies have shown that regular coffee drinkers have longer telomeres. We're talking about 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily. Leafy greens, especially spinach and kale, contain folate and other nutrients that support both DNA repair and telomere maintenance. The dose that matters is about 2 cups of cooked greens daily or 3 to 4 cups raw. This isn't a guess. This comes from studies measuring DNA damage markers in people before and after dietary interventions. Now, here's where it gets practical. Your DNA repair system needs raw materials to work. It needs antioxidants to neutralize the damage before it happens. And it needs specific micronutrients to run the repair enzymes. When your diet is filled with processed foods, oxidized fats, excess sugar, you're not just failing to provide the raw materials, you're actively creating more damage. It's like trying to fix a leaking roof while someone else is punching new holes in it. You can't win that battle. But when you shift your diet toward foods rich in polyphenols, foods like berries, green tea, coffee, dark chocolate, extra virgin olive oil, you accomplish 2 things. You reduce the incoming damage and you provide the materials needed for repair. Studies show that eating a diet high in these foods can reduce DNA damage markers by 40 to 60% within just a few weeks. This is measurable protection happening at the cellular level from food. The 5th defense system is your immune system. Everyone knows the immune system is important, especially after the past few years. But here's what most people don't understand. Your immune system, when it's functioning at its peak, even at age 80, is strong enough to wipe out cancer. I'm not talking about early-stage cancer. I'm talking about metastatic cancer that has spread throughout the body. There are documented cases of spontaneous cancer regression where someone's immune system suddenly wakes up and eliminates widespread cancer. It's rare, but it happens. Why? Because your immune system has specialized cells called natural killer cells, TC cells, macrophages, all different types with different weapons and tactics. They patrol your body like cops on a beat, looking for anything that doesn't belong. Bacteria, viruses, and critically abnormal cells. Remember those microscopic cancers I talked about earlier? The ones that can't grow without blood vessels? Well, even if they're just sitting there dormant, your immune system is actively hunting them. When it finds one, it eliminates it. This is happening thousands of times throughout your life without you ever knowing. The problem is when your immune system gets weak, distracted, or overwhelmed. then those microscopic cancers can evade detection. They can develop ways to hide from immune cells. This is when cancer becomes a clinical problem. So, how do you keep your immune system strong? Specific foods boost immune function in measurable ways. Blueberries, for example. A study at Tufts University gave older adults 1 cup of blueberries daily for 6 weeks. At the end, they measured natural killer cell activity. It had increased by over 30%. These cells were more active, more aggressive at hunting abnormal cells. 1 cup of blueberries daily. That's a specific actionable dose that worked in humans over age 60. Broccoli sprouts are even more powerful. These are the 3-day-old sprouts from broccoli seeds. They contain a compound called sulforaphane at concentrations 100 times higher than mature broccoli. Sulforaphane activates a genetic pathway called NERV2 that boosts the production of antioxidant enzymes and activates immune cells. In a study where people were given a flu vaccine, half received a shake made with broccoli sprouts, half got a placebo. The group that got the broccoli sprouts had a 22 times higher immune response to the vaccine. Not 22%, 22 times. That's not food versus medicine. That's food amplifying medicine, making it work better. You can grow broccoli sprouts at home in a jar for pennies or buy them at health food stores. The effective dose in studies is about 2 ounces of fresh sprouts daily, which is about half a cup. Now, let's talk about the 6th defense. And this one surprises people. It's your metabolic flexibility, specifically your ability to activate brown fat to burn white fat. Most people think all body fat is the same. It's not. You have white fat, which is the jiggly fat under your skin and around your organs. This is the fat people want to lose. But you also have brown fat, which most people have never heard of. Brown fat is thin, like sheets of paper, and it's located deep in your body around your neck, under your collarbone, around your spine. This fat has a completely different function. It's a metabolic furnace. When activated, it burns energy to generate heat. And where does it get that energy? From white fat. Brown fat burns white fat for fuel. It's like having an internal fat-burning machine. For years, scientists thought only babies had brown fat, that it disappeared in adults. But advanced imaging techniques revealed that adults have significant brown fat, and people who are lean and metabolically healthy have more of it. People who are obese have less. The question became, can you activate brown fat to burn more white fat? The answer is yes. Cold exposure is one way. When you get cold, your brown fat fires up to keep you warm. But that's not practical for most people. The exciting discovery is that certain foods activate brown fat. Capsaicin, the compound that makes chili peppers spicy, has been shown to activate brown fat and increase energy expenditure. A study in Japan gave people capsaicin supplements equivalent to eating 1 hot pepper daily. Over 12 weeks, they measured increased brown fat activity and modest but significant fat loss, especially visceral fat, the dangerous fat around organs. Green tea, specifically a compound called EGCG, does the same thing. Multiple studies show that consuming green tea extract or drinking 3 to 5 cups of green tea daily activates brown fat and increases fat oxidation by 10 to 15%. That might not sound like much, but over weeks and months, it adds up. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish also promote brown fat development and activity. In animal studies, fish oil supplementation increased brown fat mass and improved glucose metabolism. Human studies show similar trends. The practical takeaway is this. You have a metabolic system in your body designed to burn excess fat, but it needs to be activated. Cold exposure, certain foods, these are the activators. So now that you understand these 6 defense systems, the question is, what can you actually do about it? Let me give you a practical protocol based on the research. First, start every morning with 2 cups of green tea or 2 cups of coffee, not both. Choose one. If you drink coffee, make it black or with a small amount of milk. If you choose green tea, brew it properly. Use water that's hot but not boiling, about 105 degrees, and steep for 3 to 5 minutes. This gives you the optimal concentration of catechins and polyphenols that protect your DNA, activate brown fat, and support immune function. If you want to supercharge this, add half a teaspoon of matcha powder to your morning routine. Matcha is concentrated green tea. 1 serving gives you the equivalent polyphenols of 10 cups of regular green tea. Second, make dark chocolate a daily staple, but do it right. You need chocolate that's at least 70% cacao, preferably 80 or 90. The higher the percentage, the more flavanol, the compounds that double stem cells and improve circulation. The effective dose from studies is about 1 ounce daily. That's about 4 small squares of a standard chocolate bar. Don't eat more thinking more is better. The studies show 1 ounce is the sweet spot. Eat it with a handful of berries for a combined effect on angiogenesis and immune function. Third, eat cruciferous vegetables daily and prioritize the sprouts. If you can get broccoli sprouts, eat half a cup daily. If you can't find them, grow them yourself. You just need broccoli sprouting seeds, a mason jar, and 3 days. Rinse them twice a day. By day 3, You have sprouts loaded with sulforaphane. If sprouts aren't available, eat regular broccoli. But don't just eat the feuds. The stalk contains twice the sulforaphane of the tree tops. Chop it up, saute it with garlic and olive oil, or blend it into soups. The effective dose is about 1 cup of chopped broccoli daily, including the stalk. Fourth, incorporate omega-3 rich fish twice weekly at minimum. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, herring. You want about 4 ounces per serving. If you don't eat fish, consider an algae-based omega-3 supplement. The dose that matters is about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily. This supports stem cells, reduces inflammation, promotes brown fat activity, and protects your brain. Fifth, use extra virgin olive oil generously. 2 to 3 tablespoons daily. Don't just drizzle it on salads. Use it in cooking at low to medium heat. Pour it over steamed vegetables. Mix it into soups after cooking. The polyphenols in high-quality olive oil protect stem cells, reduce inflammation, and support cardiovascular health. Look for olive oil in dark bottles with a harvest date. Fresh oil has more polyphenols. If it's more than a year old, the beneficial compounds have degraded. Sixth, eat 1 cup of berries daily. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, rotate them. Fresh or frozen doesn't matter. Frozen berries often have higher polyphenol content because they're frozen at peak ripeness. The compounds in berries, particularly ellagic acid and anthocyanins, boost immune function, protect DNA, and have anti-angiogenic effects against cancer. Seventh, drink 8 ounces of pomegranate juice or cranberry juice daily. Make sure it's 100% juice, not a juice cocktail loaded with added sugar. The ellagitannins in these juices feed akromantia in your gut. If the juice is too tart, dilute it with water. The effective dose from studies is about 8 ounces daily. Some people split it 4 ounces in the morning, 4 in the evening. 8. Add 1 kiwi fruit to your daily routine. The fiber and vitamin C in kiwi protect your DNA and reshape your gut bacteria favorably. Studies show eating 1 to 3 kiwis daily improves gut bacteria composition within days and protects DNA from oxidative damage. The vitamin C content in kiwi is higher than oranges, and it comes packaged with fiber that feeds beneficial bacteria. Ninth, incorporate fermented foods. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi. These provide live probiotics that populate your gut with beneficial bacteria. The dose that matters is about 4 to half a cup of fermented vegetables daily, or 6 to 8 ounces of yogurt or kefir. Make sure yogurt is plain and unsweetened. You can add your own berries for flavor. 10th, use spices aggressively. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, hot peppers, cinnamon. These aren't just flavor, they're medicine. Curcumin and turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Capsaicin in hot peppers activates brown fat. Compounds in garlic support cardiovascular health and have anti-cancer effects. Use these in cooking daily. If you're not used to spicy food, start small and build tolerance. Here are my pro tips from 30 years of clinical practice. First, front-load your day with the most powerful foods. Your body's repair systems are most active in the morning and early afternoon. Eating your berries, your green tea, your dark chocolate early maximizes their impact. Second, batch prep your vegetables. Once a week, spend an hour washing, chopping, and storing vegetables in containers. When they're ready to go, you'll actually eat them. Third, if you're on medications, talk to your doctor before making major dietary changes. Foods are powerful, they interact with drugs. Grapefruit, for example, interacts with dozens of medications. Green tea can affect blood thinners. Have that conversation. Fourth, hydration matters more than people realize. Your body's defense systems run on water. Aim for 8 to 10 glasses daily. If your urine is dark yellow, you're dehydrated. It should be pale, almost clear. Fifth, avoid the foods that sabotage these systems. Processed meats, fried foods, excess sugar, artificial sweeteners. These create inflammation, damage DNA, feed the wrong gut bacteria, and impair circulation. You don't have to be perfect, but make the majority of your diet the foods I've listed. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds like a lot. I'm 70 years old. I've been eating the same way my whole life. Why change now? Let me tell you something. The most exciting finding in all this research is that it's never too late. Your body retains the capacity to heal, to regenerate, to activate these defense systems even in your 70s, 80s, 90s. I've seen patients in their 70s reverse decades of damage with dietary changes. Their blood work improves, their energy comes back, their minds sharpen. This isn't about adding years to a miserable existence. It's about adding quality to the years you have left. One more thing, these aren't expensive exotic superfoods from the Amazon rainforest. We're talking about blueberries from the freezer section, broccoli from the produce aisle, olive oil from the shelf, coffee and tea from any grocery store, dark chocolate that costs a few dollars. This is accessible. The science is clear. The evidence is overwhelming. Your body has these 5 defense systems. They can be activated, strengthened, optimized with specific foods in specific amounts. You now know what those foods are and how much to eat. The question isn't whether this works. The research proves it does. The question is whether you'll do it. Whether you'll take control of your health in a way that most people never learn about. If you found this information valuable, I need you to do 2 things. First, share this video with someone who needs it. A parent, a spouse, a friend. This information can change lives, but only if people see it. Second, check out my next video where I break down the biggest nutrition myths that are keeping people sick. Things your doctor probably believes that the research has completely disproven. I'll see you in the next one. Dr. Forbecker out.